Welcome everyone to Route 66, Copi Cafe 66, live from wherever we are live from. Humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky, Cornucopias. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It's here within these domes this epic journey begins. Players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in the vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit, is kind of an alternative start I was thinking about, Josh, in response to yours last week.
Okay, that was so good until it sounded like you were announcing the next up, the next contender.
I know, I've been
coming
watching
into
too
the
much
ring, weighing 185 pounds.
Yeah.
Light featherweight champion of the world. That was great. Okay, so that's, guys, if you and girls, please give us feedback. We're playing around with different elevator pitches and different ways to introduce you guys to what Cornucopias is. Many of you already know what it is, but so many are discovering us each new week, and that will just increase more and more as time goes on. So we want to refine the quick way that we describe who we are and what we're doing.
Indeed. And who we are, my name is Rob Greig. I'm the co-CEO of Cornucopias, and that is Josh Jones, the other co-CEO of Cornucopias. And Josh,
yes,
this week...
I am here in a shack, and I am to be released next week, I believe. Ooh. My captors have decided that my time is up, my work is done, I'm allowed to go back home. So the good news for you guys is you don't have to look at this background too much longer, and I might be able to eat a regular meal. So
nice.
Might get a little more healthy. Yeah. Coming up for you on this episode, we have a Magic Hour build recap, a little bit of info on that, prep for NFTLV, a little discussion on Token Riot, and as promised, we do have David once again to talk to us about some fun stuff and his side of Cornucopias. And then we've got a question or questions for you and a little leak. I think we're going to give you the leak with David, though. So, but that's what's coming up. And why don't we go ahead and kick it off, Rob? What's your beverage of choice?
Well, today I'm just drinking pure apple juice from the co-op, nonetheless. What are you drinking, Josh?
Well, I'm going to do it kind of like you do when you're coming into a meeting with your elevator chair. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, just what the good old doctor ordered.
Nice. Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Didn't I have that last week?
Yeah, one of my unhealthy habits. I don't know, did I?
You said you had diet, though.
Something. All right. Well, let's kick it off. The Magic Hour build. Man, that was awesome. First of all, it's my favorite time of day. It's my favorite time to shoot pictures with a camera. It was my favorite time when I was in film school to shoot. It's so perfect. You have this soft, diffused lighting which brings out the really vibrant colors, the pinks and the peaches and all that stuff with the sunset. You got rays of light coming through. And I think Unreal Engine's technology does a remarkable job with what David and the team have set up around that to really, really show off a beautiful world at a beautiful time of day. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, lots of places where you can go and get lens flares and all the oranges comes through. So it's really cool. I think why we're releasing all these different kind of lighting settings is so that we can test the performance of it. And David did say that was the most challenging because of all the shadows and all the bounce lights. And so it's really working hard. In the future, the day will be cycling through all these different lightings. So you'll get to enjoy them all. But, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and which has been your favorite so far at the bottom.
Yeah. Please let us know, and please give us feedback on that intro as well. I want I want to point out one of the features that was so fun for me in playing the game when we did the live stream with Scruffy. If you haven't checked out that live stream, let's make sure we include that in the description below so people
Yeah.
can go check that out. But we did some live gameplay with Scruffy, and that was my first time to check out the new build, which was beautiful in the Magic Hour sense, but also in the gameplay sense. And there was a lot of other technical fixes and bug fixes and things like that that I won't go into. But in terms of the gameplay, there's the new area that we got a tease and a hint of when we were at Rare Evo. We saw the ground and what they were planning out there. But they filled that in with cranes and more puzzles. And there's some gameplay there that's a lot of fun to try to get to these holocash. And for those of you that have tested it and walked up a crane, I don't know if it gave you the thrill it did for me, but it was so immersive that walking up the crane kind of got my heart rate a little bid elevated and brought in some of the fear of heights and things of that nature that made it a lot more exciting. So I did really enjoy that. How'd you like it?
It reminded me when they asked me to stand in and do that scene for James Bond when he did the same.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's right. For Daniel Craig, which one?
Yeah, it gave me those same vibes. But yeah, that was the beauty of doing things live,
double, right? Because you're chiseled like James Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. yeah, definitely. Now doing things live that things don't always necessarily go right. So that the live stream that we published was the second live stream. It's not the first time that we've recorded something that never saw the light of day, but that's a previous tale. Yeah,
that was a bummer, man, because I felt like that first run of the live stream was just perfect, because it made us reflect back on the first initial showing of Kalido that you and I did when we didn't have the streaming and recording. We were using Elgato devices at that time. Feels like ages ago, but it was like maybe 3 months ago. I don't know, but 2.5 months ago, something like that. Anyway, that first 50, live stream, so different, huh?
Episode 50. I mean, we must have recorded that episode about 4 weeks times.
4 weeks or 4 months ago. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, you're right. But that, we've come a long way from there in terms of it's just, there's so many improvements we're making on a weekly basis. It's really exciting to see. But I'll move us on to the next topic. We want to get David up here pretty soon. We've got prep for NFTLV going on right now. So we're figuring out what our booth is going to be. We're going to get some cool little banner displays up as well, and obviously the monitors and the gaming experience is going to be really exciting, because we got back from Rare Evo and we hit the ground running. So
yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think 2 weeks ago I was actually in America, and 2 weeks from now I'm going to be back in America again. It's strange.
You just love that flight.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. This one I'm actually direct. So I'm
oh, good.
I think it's about a 14-hour flight, but it's better than getting off in New York. I just don't like that
direct all the way to Vegas. Nice. That's great.
First of all, I'm cutting the journey in two. I'm getting the train down to London, and then I'm flying from Heathrow over to Vegas.
That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's so much work to prep for a conference, to get to a conference. It's pressure on all sides, on marketing, on logistics, on finance, on David and the programming team. And just, it's a lot, because everybody we want to show the best possible version of what our game is. And so we're really excited, though. I think we're going to blow people away with what we get to show. And it's going to be a lot more immersive this time, because we're resolving some headphone issues and things like that, so people can really get the full sound effect. And the one monitor that we will have a speaker on, that's going to have a much better speaker, so it's actually loud, projects some volume. So we want to get people really feeling it and into the full immersive capability of what we have.
All right, be great. I mean, that was kind of like we'll call it a trial at Rare Evo. Yeah, we actually also had a lot of interference with most of the devices were Bluetooth, So, I mean, we should have really remembered from the previous year, but that was almost like a year ago. But so this time everything will be wired. Get rid of a lot of
One
that
year is 10
interference.
years in crypto, so it's actually um,
Yeah,
10
I
years
think we're
ago.
getting headphones as well, aren't we? So it can be really immersive. But yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be very good. I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be fun. It's going to wear us out. Hopefully, we can keep the team healthy, give everybody vitamin packs to start the day.
Big
Hopefully,
team come. Yeah, we
yeah,
got a big team coming to Vegas.
yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. All right, next up, and then we'll get David on after that. But Token Riot. So we announced Token Riot a little more obviously this week, and our involvement in that, and you know, really exciting. It's a third party NFT marketplace. What that enables us to do is give feedback on our. It's a great partnership, and it also puts us on the board of advisors on Token Riot. The Drip Drops team has been phenomenal at building out that tech, and
Yeah.
then we're giving feedback on things that we might need for gamification. We helped, Matt helped, and Jeff helped with the UI and the look and the branding of that. So we devoted a little time there. And then overall, just making decisions for how we're going to set this up and manage it. But for the most part, it's been a very low risk way that we can create additional value for our NFT holders inside of a third party marketplace. So, going into gaming and knowing all the things that we need to have for these gaming NFTs, we need customizable views. There's a lot of specific gaming industry niche things that we need to properly display our NFTs and the metadata associated with them. And so this enables us to have a voice in what's going to be done there. And it's huge. I think I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be great. They've got a really professional team. We've known the Drip Drops team for over 2 years. I know Kyle all the way back to
Yeah,
Fund
he's
2, Fund
OG.
3 of Project Catalyst 2020. Yeah, so we've known those guys a long time. They're heavyweight developers, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's another exciting chapter.
Yeah, they're great guys to work with. We share similar values. And so, it just kind of unfolded. We knew we needed this long ago, back when we started
Mhm.
Cornucopias. And back then it was just CNFT.io that was the NFT marketplace. We knew we had needs. And so this kind of unfolded as we
Mhm.
grew our relationship with Kyle and the guys over there, and just kind of fell into our lap. And it's a great thing. It's been a lot of fun. So, it'll be good value add for all of our NFT holders and for the gaming industry and for Cardano ecosystem as a whole. This is
Yeah.
going to create new volume coming into Cardano, just as our game Cornucopias will as well. So it's a great thing. Okay,
Yep.
so David, let's get David up if he's ready. David, you want to go ahead and come up on stage? Welcome. There you are, man. How are you?
Good, here again on Copi Cafe. So am I in prison to coming on Copi Cafe all the time now?
We're going to announce you coming
Hopefully
on
not.
next week. Yeah, just kidding.
You're getting out of your prison at least there. So
Yeah, correct.
we're worrying everyone.
I sure hope so. Yeah,
We
they were
paid
concerned.
the ransoms, 2 cans of Dr. Pepper.
Man, it's cheap.
Yeah, I'm a free man soon. Well, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world. We can go through each segment of the game. Maybe that's a good way to start. Tell us what's going on with racing. How are things there? Anything new?
Yeah, so covered a lot of that last week. So racing development's going pretty well. So first time anyone will see what's going on with that will be Vegas. So still quite a few things to work out, but everything's functioning pretty well right now. It's just in some taking care of some final polish things, some little bug issues and stuff like that right now. So definitely more confident than I was about that last week, but it's pretty excited about it, honestly. So there's more stuff. So even the racing track itself has changed a little bit. So you've got multiple tracks. You've also got slight biome change that's going on with Toledo. So Toledo Valley. So you have well, I don't think anybody's seen kind of the way it looks right now, but you do have these really dusty, deserty junk areas that you go through, and the junk is marvelous looking. I love the junk. Junk can be beautiful. But you actually have a lot of little water areas in there as well, with some like grassland green stuff that's kind of around that has some nice contrast to the deserty areas that are in there. You also see a lot of architecture changes that you haven't seen before. So racing is going to feel quite fresh when people see it, based on what they probably saw last year. So I'm excited about it.
Very cool. You did mention that after Vegas, or are we saving that for the leak?
I mean, I can say it now, but yeah,
That's the leak.
racing's
It's one of
definitely
our
coming.
leaks.
Yeah, racing's definitely coming for public testing after Vegas. But the reason why it's mostly after Vegas is because we have to run on a local server there. In that situation, it needs a slightly different setup than on our AWS stuff. So we want to make sure that goes off without a hitch, and then we can put a few things back in place to get things out to the rest of the community, so you guys can enjoy.
Yeah, racing coming soon. Incredibly exciting.
That'll be exciting, and that will be for the flying vehicle holders to test with that. Start with the mythics.
Yep.
Yep.
Very
And
exciting.
well, speaking of that, we can move on to Mythic Sunshine right now, if you'd like.
Sunshine. Yep. Check my notes.
Mythic
That's gonna be our next
Sunshine.
build.
Yeah. So that is coming out next week and will be the last release for a more extended time.
So that's the name of the build. The next build is called Mythic Sunshine.
Yep. Went from the Magic Hour one to Mythic Sunrise, getting the Mythic holders in, right? So I don't even know the count on that, but it's got to be a good amount. I'm not sure how we're going to lay it out, but excited to get more people in. So this will be at a little past noon kind of day, which is probably the most performant time of day. Be a good time for people to come in, see the full graphical fidelity. Lumen does really good with bounce lighting during that time of day. We also have a pretty good lighting shading overhaul that's coming through. Racing also got that update as well. So you've got better lighting. Things are more natural, a little bit more neutral that's going on. Even the shading on the character's skin is way better. So that's something we've had quite a few issues with. You might have noticed like characters sometimes look a little weird in certain lighting situations. When you have real-time global illumination, sometimes you get some very strange results that's going on there, where you're like, wow, they look fine here, but I go in this strange lighting scenario out of the sun and they look a little bit weird. The characters are going to look a lot better. They're also going to move a lot better. So there's some big changes coming to the character movement system, some great new animations, some procedural animation type stuff that you're going to see going on. You're going to have a lot of huge reduction on things like foot sliding and things looking a little bit strange sometimes. So just as I was talking about last week, we're just iterating away and you guys get to see it all along the way. So I think this is a pretty exciting update where things get a little bit more polished. And speaking of polished, there's more details that are going in as well. A lot of people don't know, so we move quickly. We take most things that we develop and show you guys are developed to about the 80% level, something like that. We get it in, it's looking pretty good at a base level, but the extra details, that extra 20% is something you'll slowly see fill in over time. It'll also fill in more as we expand and hire more people, where it's like, hey, just go here, add all those little extra nuts and bolts and lines and utilities, things that's needed. So you're starting to see some of the detail pass of the Cleto Valley Resort area come in as well. So a lot of exciting things. There's probably more things in this build as well. The whole cargo area you guys have enjoyed. There's more going on there now. That's getting up more to final iteration. So there's just a million things that are coming in here that are little things that are exciting. So
well, yeah, I mean, about 3 weeks ago, that cargo area was just an empty space, and then midnight hour came out, and then all of a sudden it's all complete. complete with lots of ladders. What could that be foreshadowing?
The basic mesh, and then some art direction was done on colors. Materials will be updated more. You've got a lot of the markings on the floor now for cargo. A lot of people don't know in the future, outside of what you can use your vehicle for in racing, this will be an area that you actually go to work on moving cargo goods and stuff from vehicles. So that kind of stuff's being worked out. And right now it kind of has a little bit of a jump puzzle to get to it, but in the future it'll have more of a main entrance near the large elevators in Cleto. So,
what do you call those vehicles? I've christened them the Orcas. What do you call them?
That is an unreleased vehicle name right now. We haven't really worked it out. It's definitely a cargo hauler. You'll see updates to that in this release as well, and I think you're also going to be able to walk inside some of them as well. So pretty cool. They're a lot bigger than they look at first glance, and I think that'll be more apparent with this release. But
will they always be static, or will we see them landing and taking off?
There has been a lot of work done with landings and taking off, but for this stage of testing, a lot of that stuff has been turned off right now. Yeah. There was actually a lot of people, nobody knows, there was actually a full intro where you fly in and land when the game starts, but that's being reserved for a much more public release once we're past testing a little bit. So it's like a sequence because, Cornucopias, we talked about the lore a little bit, but you're actually being brought in from another dimension from our version of Earth. And this is your sort of rite of passage in to Cornucopias for the first time. So that is a sequence to new players that we certainly want to work on quite a bit and be a very polished experience. You haven't heard much out of Tess or T55, the robot there.
Yeah.
Those lines are even trimmed down. She has a full minutes of voice lines full of jokes and all kinds of things. Look at her as like a tour guide when you're bringing her in. But there's so much exciting stuff that's just kind of turned off to make sure that testing goes well.
We didn't hear nothing from her in this latest build.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. It works fine now in the builds. Sometimes we'll get a packaging error that's just some weird fluke where something like that won't work, but it works fine now. So, yeah. I figure people were tired of listening to her, and so, but
it's good to it's good for people to see. Things break. Some things get better, some get worse, but
sometimes weird things happen. Yeah, we don't really know why. We're just happy that it's back. So,
well, a little more of a leak would it's a slight leak would be the mining. So that'll be coming after Vegas. We're not sure on a date. It won't be as soon as racing, I don't believe, because there are some areas of mining that we really want to tie in and start testing our XP and progression systems, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I covered this last time, but you've got North Point Hills as a virtual experience that you'll be transported to through Cornucopias Labs. So Cornucopias Labs testing platform. So not only in the future will you be able to go there and test mining, you'll be able to test plot building and resource gathering, farming, lots of things that will be accessed through Cornucopias Labs. There might even be silly things that you see there in the future that are just for some basic testing. You might also have PvP that's there as well. That would probably be the first place that we test that kind of stuff. It's been very important for us to compartmentalize a lot of these things to just testing so they can break, have all kinds of issues, and they don't affect the real products and parts of the world that we're actually designing right now. But they affect them indirectly, of course. So
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we are going to get mining in everybody's hands. That's just a little. It's pending a little bit more research and finalized planning and things of that nature, and a little bit of dev work, but that'll be coming as well. We obviously gave that experience to those at Rare Evo, and I believe, are we giving that experience at NFTLV for people to mine?
Yeah,
test mining. Again? Okay.
Yeah, mining will be there just the same as the conference before. But yeah, a few more things to work out. Mining goes into a lot of different things we're going to be testing. when it comes to like persistent database stuff, storing items, making sure that when a player has 12 items, it stays that way. Nobody messes with the data, that kind of stuff. And you'll start to see the actual inventory system being worked in, along with VoIP, chat, emotes. There's a lot of things. I'm very excited for the next 6 months or something like that. There also might see some, I don't know. I'll save it for later. I think I'm running out.
Okay, there's some good leaks, some good alpha. Watch out. That's exciting.
I've got a community question about mining. Should we move on to community questions?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, one more thing before we move on to community questions, and let's I just want to say the character movement system. Did you cover that a little bit? Because we talked to Jim a little bit this morning and caught up with him, and he said a lot of improvements have been made, and I told him that you said that you were pretty impressed with it. You want to give any more detail on that?
Just the stuff I covered a few minutes ago. Much smoother character movement. There's a lot more animations, a lot more transitions, even some procedural handling or animation warping that's going on. There's a lot of little, I would say, visual quality of life improvements, so it keeps it from being so jarring. I'm not going to promise this is going to be completely perfect, of course, because it's still work in progress, but it will at least be a great improvement from what we've seen so far.
Okay. And then finally, one last thing to comment on some of the database issues that you reflected on moments ago. We got great news. We just brought on somebody to the team. We haven't added any to the team in a bit, and he's going to be helping a ton with setting up that database to be able to record things and the API to be able to record and transmit data back and forth from the game related to XP and all sorts of different things that we need. So that's going to be huge, and he's really solid at setting things up securely, and so that's a great value add for the team. We're really excited to have him on board. And now I think we can finally get to.
No, that is good. That is good. Yeah, on episode 66, we announce our number 33 permanent employee, which is crazy in 2 years.
Yeah, crazy indeed. And then regarding questions, to transition over to questions, the only thing I want to say is we did read a lot of you guys' questions. Some of those pretty sensitive in nature. We need to pass off to legal. We just got to be due diligence and be thorough about what we do, talk about. But some of the other ones we aren't really ready to talk about yet, because it's like if we start answering this question, which we can give you a little response on, but it's going to open up a whole can of worms of other questions we're not quite ready to answer. So we just have one for you guys today. And Rob, do you want to go ahead and lead that off?
I've got two actually. One's from Rob the Fox. He wants to know, David, what are you drinking?
Hey, there it is. There it is. They thought we were going to miss it. I pinged it in the chat while you guys were talking earlier.
I was about to say something, but yeah, I'm on to the Soylent again. Tastes like people. So I don't know if anybody knows that old movie Soylent Green, but
Soylent Green?
Soylent Green, yeah. That's
that
where the name of this beverage actually came from, but it's sort of a meal replacement. It's just to, give you all the nutrients, that kind of thing. But it doesn't
R.E.M.
taste
might have done a song or something. Anyway, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. That's all it is. I think I had that on here before, but
losing my meal. Right. But the question from Terry N is, will the mines be static size, or will we be able to dig deeper?
So there is, so more procedural mine shaft type stuff has been looked at in a way, and that could be something that we're going to have. This is also MMO. There's a lot of multiplayer stuff going on. There's a lot of replication that has to go on. I will tell you that the mine that you saw there that's all done by hand. That's how we're going to do a lot of mines and a lot of cave features. How we have done, some of the other ones, is because it just looks way better. It looks way better. We can make these places huge. They look very dynamic. We've considered, though, maybe once you dig down so deep, and you haven't been eaten by a quantum monster, that maybe there can be some more procedural aspect to mining. But that's what I call a lot of things are done in stages of development. So mining's at stage 1 right now. We're going to go to stage 2. That's a stage 3 kind of thing. That's further off in the future once the basic functionality is in for everything. So that's your answer on that for now.
But
All
it's,
right.
you know, when you get to the bottom of the, eventually, I mean, some people are jesting that you'll pop out the bottom and fall to earth. But I think at the bottom underneath is actually the car park. Into there's
That is actually, those things are so huge. That's actually a very small area of it, the hangar area that you come into.
okay.
Something that I think I covered before, or we hinted at a little bit, is you'll have sector areas that won't necessarily, won't be player owned property there. It'll just be what, we call them lost bubbles a little bit. You'll go there. It's no man's land. PvP might be totally open. It's a Wild West out there. Some of these sectors might be a little bit destroyed. So you might be in an underground section of a cave and come out to a giant open split of the earth where you see some of the infrastructure of these sectors. So that also might be a place where you can take your bubble jet sprinter and land directly on the actual landscape itself, besides being required to go through a hangar. So that's going to be at a little bit later stage of development, but that stuff like that, exploring, there might be some rogue AI or robots there that's taken over some laboratory. You have to worry about them. There's so many exciting things that can come from that. I'm probably saying way too much right now, but I get very excited. I'm very passionate about all kinds of things in this game. And if you let me sit here,
Yep.
I'll tell them everything. So
I don't know if we got that anyway, because on my screen you disappeared. So hopefully that footage came through.
disappeared.
It came through on my end. It should be good.
I'm still
So-
here. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Was
there
that
you
the
go.
last question, Rob?
No, I have another one, but you said only asked 2. I've got another one.
Oh, I can do it.
The Black Knight wants to know: do you think that broadcasting? Oh no, wait, this is for me and you, Josh. Do you think that broadcasting Copi cafes every week has helped you improve your skills on stage, confidence, effective communications, etc.? What do you think?
I think it's helped with being able to speak on the spot and prepare incredibly quickly, because the way that I think for me to really effectively improve at being on stage requires being on stage and the preparation process for doing that. So I don't. It's definitely made us more comfortable, or I'll speak for myself. It's made me more comfortable just getting on video, on a weekly basis. But for the most part, it's more of it's an exercise. We have so limited time. I mean, schedule is jam packed constantly, and every time we get up here, and David just made a comment before this meeting. He's like, "Oh, once again, we're not very prepared," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's every week. We get on and we talk about what we're going to talk about for 10 minutes, and then we go, and so we wing it. This is." And we knew that was going to be essential, and that's why we branded it Copi Cafe, to make it more casual. What are you drinking? That's all about. Let's keep this a casual vibe and not have a ton of pre-production involved with it, so we can remain consistent and do it on a weekly basis. That is our gift to you guys, the community, and it's in honor of one of the ethos of crypto, of just being transparent and telling you guys what we're doing all the way along. And so that's what that's about. But yeah, so I would say maybe a little bit, but for the most part, I think to speak on stage is a whole different dynamic. It's all you for the most part. You need to be prepared with at least with bullet points and some crafty things to say and rehearse, and it's a different vibe. You see a ton of people out there looking at you expectantly, and so it's a different thing, which I've done a lot of as well. And but yeah, and we'll be doing that for NFTLV. I think we both have a couple panels on that. But that's my answer. Rob, did you have any?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a, we're obviously extremely close to the project anyway, but having to do Copi Cafe after week, we have to be absolutely spot on with the project. So if you are ever thrown in at the deep end and you're asked any of these questions, some of them technical or something general, because we've done all these episodes week after week and we watch them back, we're kind of prepared to some good extent. I mean, then when you go up on stage, you've got kind of this pool of information you can immediately pull down from. But that stage was really strange because it was crazy lightning. They had monitors at the front that were feeding back. They were pretty awful. So yeah, when you're up there, you're kind of on your own, but you're not on your own because unlike what normally when I've done speaking on front of stage, those have usually been on my own. But in this instance, I'm there with you. So if I start fumbling, you can take over. If you start fumbling, which you don't fumble, I'm always there. Absolutely. And it's always good to, I think I'd be better in a band than I would be as a solo person, because you've got other people to bounce energy off. So that's good. Sure. We can go through this together like we do every week.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. It's really challenging, and it does create a stress point every week, but at the same time, we do enjoy doing it. And it's always great to get David up on the show. So thanks, David, for joining us today. And I know that you have a ton on your plate, so we can go ahead. We all do. So we can go ahead and wrap this one up. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Always very, very thankful that you guys come and give us some of your attention and just keep track with what we're up to. Really grateful for you guys, our community. Keep watching, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.